Welcome everyone. This is my Spanish rice video. Today we're going to make Spanish rice in honor of my late grandmother, Tacy. I used to call her Grandma Tacy. She's from Puebla, Mexico, and she didn't make it exactly like this, but I remember my mom cooked it a certain way, and I do remember my relatives cooking it in a certain way. This could be just me adding knowledge to the collective culture, but I think this is going to be pretty authentic to Spanish rice that you might have in Puebla, Mexico. So let's start with the ingredients. Today we have 1.5 cups of rice. We have some sea salt, extra virgin olive oil, cumin. We're kind of low, but that's okay. We have some lime pepper. Fresh lime is best, but lime pepper is going to work because we have to make it work, right? And we have about 1 onion. You could use more onion than this. This is about 1 small onion or medium onion. It's a sweet yellow onion. You could use purple if you want to. You could use different kinds of tomatoes. This is 8 little Roma tomatoes, so it's a lot of tomatoes. It's gonna kind of reduce beautifully in the rice. This is about a whole bulb of garlic, and there's half of it chopped up, and half of it's nice and chunky. These peppers are called chili arbol. Chili arbol. You could also use ancho chilies. What you do is you soak them for about 30 minutes, or if you want to speed it up, you could put the water to like 190 and soak it for like 15 minutes, and then you chop it up in little pieces. You need about a can of tomato paste. You could use more if you want it thicker. And then finally, we're going to use, since this is 1.5 cups, we're going to use about 3 cups of chicken broth. And I'm using some of the broth from the chili arbol mixed with chicken broth, and we're going to add that in just a second. We're going to do that. So welcome back, everyone. We had to skip a little bit of the steps because my phone battery died and some of the steps got skipped. But what we did essentially was we put all the garlic and onions and chili arbol and tomatoes in here. And again, you could use different proportions of more onions or more garlic if you want to for taste, whatever your ancestors tell you to do, you know. And so right now, sautéing, we have probably about, I would say, a good 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to turn this pot down. It's a little too hot. The bottom's getting a little. It's kind of you want the rice to brown before you start adding before you add the chicken broth. And we're going to use about 3 cups of chicken broth. And then we're also going to add the tomato paste and kind of just let it simmer down for about half an hour. And we'll have some delicious Spanish rice. I forgot to mention, you can either add the cumin or lemon pepper now or later. I'm going to go ahead and add some cumin right now. So I'm going to go ahead and add some cumin. And the way you know you have enough salt, because the chicken broth has salt, just do it to taste, you know. This is a little bit of cumin, so we're going to add the whole remainder of our cumin. Luckily we had some cumin. It's a wonderful flavor that's very traditional for Spanish rice. And instead of fresh limes, we have lime pepper. So before I add any, because we already have salt from the lime pepper and we have salt from the chicken broth, I'm just going to go ahead and season with the lime pepper and chicken broth, and then I'll taste it and see if it needs actually more sea salt. So that will be later. There's no hurry to add the salt. That's a good amount of lime pepper flavor right there. And we're going to mix all that in, of course. And yeah, it looks beautiful, right? The rice is browning nicely, and make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. You got to keep kind of stirring it. Get all the rice nice and golden brown before you add the water. Yeah, there's lots of variations. You can be creative. I thought maybe sometime I could use black garlic instead of regular garlic. But generally you have your lime flavor, you have your cumin flavor, you have garlic, you have ancho or chili arbol, you have the tomatoes, the tomato paste. And stay tuned for the next section where we're gonna add as soon as we get this nice and browned, we're gonna add the tomato paste and the chicken broth. So stay tuned. Welcome back for the third part of the video. The rice is beautifully golden brown, as you can see. It's just a beautiful color. I know the tomato, it's hard to tell, but one other option you could do is you don't have to saute the tomatoes. You could just add the tomatoes later to give it more of a fresh taste. But I was going for more of like a richer condensed flavor with the tomatoes this time. But that's also what the tomato paste is for. So now we're going to take the tomato paste and the chicken broth. This is some organic chicken bouillon. I accidentally made more than 3 cups. This is about 3.5 cups. So I'm going to pour about 3 cups in. And yeah, so we have some beautiful. You know what? It looks like. No, that's enough liquid. And we're going to add this tomato paste. And we're not going to worry about salt until it kind of boils down a little bit. So I'm just going to get this tomato paste in here. Probably should have used a knife. This is kind of inefficient, but we're getting that beautiful tomato paste inside. That's going to make it nice and thick and rich with tomato flavor, which is what you want in a good Spanish rice. So with that being said, we're going to let this simmer and we're going to cover the lid. And I'll see you guys for the 4th part of the video. Welcome back to the 5th and final part of the Spanish rice video. I think it's the 5th part, is that right, Dave? So this is the final part. Look at this beautiful rice. It only took about 15 minutes, and it's just, the color is just beautiful. If you want a darker color, you can actually do a darker color if you want to. So right now I'm just scraping some of the stuff from the bottom of the pan. I'm going to taste it to see what the salt level is like. So I'm going to taste some right here. And after the chicken broth and lemon pepper, it just needs a touch more salt. I'm going to let my ancestors speak to me again. Maybe a little bit more. And we're going to stir that up. And it should be ready. So excited you guys could join me on this adventure to make Spanish rice in honor of Tacy, Grandma Tacy, my wonderful grandmother that shared many memories with me. I got to see her in Mexico when she came to the States very often to visit the family. So let's give it one more taste with that beautiful texture and color and that onions and garlic and tomatoes. It's really rich and the rice is nice and soft. I'm going to give it one more taste. And here we go. This is perfect. Just perfect. We're cooking some trout and codfish, experimenting with lemon pepper and a touch of cardamom. And the fish should go really well with Spanish rice. It sounds like something even more traditional to Spain than Mexico. So, we love you, Grandma Tacy. Bless you. Rest in peace. And thanks for coming along with us for this Spanish rice video.